Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Very good. We've got Dear John Letters coming up, so I'm always in a good mood when we have that. And much more fun stuff all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
FreshPatch.com is making dogs like me happy. They send out real grass pads for us to use indoors. Now when it's cold outside, I can go inside. And when I've used up the real grass patch, the mailman brings me a new fresh patch. It's the best idea since doggy treats. Convince your mommy to try it today. I suggest you try Puppy Dog Eyes. FreshPatch.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Thursday, November the 1st. Can you believe it's November the 1st?
I cannot.
Calzone Day, Author's Day, Cook for Your Pets Day, National Men Make Dinner Day, and you're not supposed to barbecue, so something else. Also, we've got a quote for today as well. You ready for that?
Absolutely.
Our quote is from Confucius. He says, "Everything has beauty, but not everyone can see." I like that. And everyone, stick around. We've got a Dear John letter coming your way. Now, that's not from Confucius. That's from me. But we also have a John Deere letter. We'll tell you all about it. It's all on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? I got to try to trick my beautiful bride here. Heidi, tell me, what do you think? Two Rivers in Nashville, Tennessee. Golf course or rehab center?
Golf course.
I figured you'd know that. Two Rivers in Nashville is definitely a golf course. You get your golf clap. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Every day at this time, we talk about people who do some silly things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, you can learn more at TimeForRehab.com. According to a news release from the U.S. Attorney Scott Brady, a Baldwin woman pled guilty in federal court to producing fentanyl at a Pittsburgh motel earlier this year. A 32-year-old by the name of Angel Granison admitted to a charge of maintaining a drug-involved premises. The detectives there from the DEA, they were called to a Motel 6 back in May, so this has been a while back. There was a strong chemical odor coming from a room. Authorities found fentanyl synthesized laboratory in a bathroom there at that motel. They seized packages with return addresses in Chinese, a journal with notes on fentanyl production, and a Chemistry for Dummies book. Not even kidding. According to the release, they're scheduled for up to 20 years in prison, potentially. So, yeah, that's not good. Bad, bad thing. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, Taylor Swift. There's some folks out there listening right now that love her. There's some folks out there that don't care for her, and there's some that are going, yeah, whatever, whoever, I could take her or leave her, whatever. But Taylor Swift just earned a little warm spot in my heart, Heidi. She donated $15,500 to a fan's GoFundMe account after the girl's mother went ill 2 days before she was supposed to go see Taylor in concert. This is like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I think it's a really cool story. She didn't have to do anything, But this young girl was getting ready to go to her concert. This girl's mother got sick, and then Taylor went on and gave her, that's a pretty good little donation. $15,500.
Absolutely it is.
And it's probably nothing to a big star like
Oh,
her.
yeah,
but,
I'm sure.
But it's the fact that she did it is really cool. Now, there's a rapper by the name of Post Malone. He revealed that he spent over $40,000 in delivery items from Post Dates in the last year. What is Post Dates?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is. And Meghan Markle cut her Fiji visit short because of security concerns about the large crowd that came to greet her. That same thing, the John and Heidi meet and greet called off because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not one? Okay. Thanks for listening.
That's exactly why we don't do those, by the way.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by FreshPatch.com, promo code radio. Starting today, there's a place with some golden arches, Mickey D's. They're going to start selling a thing called a triple breakfast stack. It's been in the news here. 2 sausage patties, egg, bacon, cheese, on your choice of a bagel or a bagel or a... Did I say that wrong twice?
It sounds
bagel?
horrible.
McMuffin or McGriddle. I don't know. I'm not going to have one because I'm working on this diet and I'm trying to lose some weight, but it sounds pretty good. So a triple breakfast stack, 2 sausage patties, eggs, bacon, cheese. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
Sounds like a lot of food, but
I mean, even when I have just one of their regular breakfast sandwiches, I feel sick afterwards. I couldn't imagine having
eating
that
so
much
much.
more on it.
yeah,
Ugh.
that sounds good to me. A new survey of 2,000.
Sounds good to me.
It does sound good to me. I'm not going to have one because I'm trying to lose weight, but sure sounds good to me. New survey of 2,000 Americans reveals that a smooch on the neck is their biggest turn on.
Oh, I love that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why don't you ever kiss me on the neck then? Oh, you mean you like it when I do that to you? Oh, okay. So what is my biggest turn on? Do I have one?
I think anything.
showing
A
up?
gentle breeze,
Just
a
you-
glance from across the room.
She's my wife. You just show up. I'm like, I'm ready. You tell me when. 2,000 Americans like their neck kissed. Apparently, I'm gonna have to put that move into the old play
Into
deck,
the routine.
playbook, or whatever you call it. I'm so uncool. I don't even know what to call it. A Los Angeles man has probably eaten more Chinese food than anyone else because he has now had more Chinese food, 7,300 different Chinese restaurants. He is 70 years old, David R. Chan. He never eats at the same restaurant twice, which has led him to dine at more than 7,300 different Chinese restaurants. That's kind of cool.
Where does he live?
He lives in Los Angeles, but he travels to go to
He
the
must.
He goes, I'm sure they don't have that many in L.A.
You never know.
7,300 Chinese restaurants. A woman in Switzerland called the police to report that a burglar had broken into her office where she was working alone late at night. When they arrived, she told them she really needed them to remove a spider.
Oh.
They gave her a warning. So there was not a burglar, it was a spider.
Wow.
She was just calling
Bad
to say,
idea.
okay, the burglar is not so much a burglar as it is a spider. Can you guys do something about this spider? No, but we can give you a citation. She got a warning for that, not a citation. And our final story, we're going to take a couple of minutes on here. Nebraska's new tourism campaign slogan is out. Nebraska, honestly, it's not for everyone. Well, that's
What
not a good slogan.
Horrible.
This came out like a week
slogan.
ago, and I've been watching on Facebook as people have been not so nice. Here's the thing I got to say about it. Why couldn't they have had somebody in the state of Nebraska come up with a slogan? This was actually created by somebody in Colorado.
And
which
it is
kinda
not
like,
nice.
thumbing their nose at the state
Yeah.
next door. They're like, oh, yeah, you guys want us to come up with a slogan? Nebraska, it's not for everyone. I mean,
And they were
really?
like, let's go with
Sold.
that.
Let's do that. So I said it wrong. It's Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for
That's
everyone.
terrible.
So
that is terrible.
Why wouldn't you have worked with somebody in Omaha or Lincoln or
what
Norfolk
difference does
or
it make
Wayne?
where they were from? This is a
I'm
horrible
just saying,
slogan.
they should have at least worked with somebody in the state of Nebraska. By doing that, then it's self-deprecating humor. So if it was somebody there kind of poking fun at themselves, that's one thing.
Why would you want your
But
slogan to be poking fun at?
I'm not saying that I would want that, but what I'm
No,
saying is...
what you should be saying is, it's a horrible slogan.
What you don't want is a state next door, Colorado, pointing at Nebraska going, Nebraska, honestly, it's not for everyone. I mean, not for me. I live over here in Colorado. But thanks for the check. It cleared. I just think that's just such a weird story. I have a link to it in the show notes. If you want to chime in, you can do that. I've seen plenty over the last week, but yeah, certainly chime in if you'd like. Again, in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Are you trying to find the perfect gift for someone with a good sense of humor? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has a good selection of funny t-shirts and more. Some with Christmas themes. One that even replaces the ugly Christmas sweater for your next party. Find some silly shirts at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Also, learn how you can sell your own designs to make some extra Christmas cash. There's a link at the bottom of the page at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
And we, Heidi, did you see that we got a John Deere letter this week as well?
You told me about it.
Okay,
I did not see it.
All right, I'll share that with you here in a moment. But first, Dear John, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. In the past, we've hosted the dinner at our house, and my family has come here to join us. My parents and grandparents, my brother and sister, and their families, even a cousin who lives nearby. This year, my sister and I have had a strained relationship due to politics and Facebook. Boy, that sounds awfully familiar. I think everybody listening can probably relate. Facebook has kind of ruined a lot of conversations with a lot of people. Anyway, she says she is skipping my dinner, and she's trying to get other family members to join her. So far, my cousin is taking her side, but everyone else is still planning on joining us. I've tried to make it easy for her to join us, but she keeps fighting with me about it. We're going to plan for them to be here, whether they join us or not, but how can I make sure this ridiculous spat between sisters doesn't tear our family apart? I'm trying to be the adult, but she just won't listen. Any advice? Signed, Sad Big Sister. First of all, I feel for you. I think that's really sad that you let something online ruin something offline, like your family. Don't let anything on Facebook come between family members. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
It doesn't, but the things said on Facebook I mean, they're still from an actual person.
I agree. And
so if something rude or disrespectful had been said back and forth, that's absolutely going to cause tensions.
Absolutely.
You have to be respectful of each other.
So be nice to each other online and offline.
Exactly.
And it sounds like, you guys have already had your spat. I don't know who started the spat, if you did or if she did, or honestly, it doesn't matter at this point. Both of you need to grow up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you're trying to be the adult here, so that's cool. But find out, what is it going to take to make this work? And make sure that you promise to not let politics even be a discussion at Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just can't. If you're
you can't.
If you're going to have the person there, and I'm going to tell you, I remember a time where my beautiful bride over here and her aunt got in a big fight over politics, and it was leading up to, was it Christmas or Thanksgiving or something? Oh, it was terrible. And we skipped a year because Heidi didn't want to go. Mm-hmm. And
we skipped a year, and then the following year we went back.
And the very first thing
that my aunt did,
she brought up politics. And I told her, I said, you know what? It was a 3-hour drive to get here. Our stuff is still in the car. We'll leave right now if that's what it's going to be. So I had to be the adult. I'm like, you two just don't even talk to each other.
I didn't say anything. I got up and left the room because I didn't want to hear it.
Anyway, don't let politics
come
in between family members.
It is absolutely divisive.
Here's the thing.
And this was years ago. This had nothing to do with anybody in office currently. This was years ago.
So this isn't a new phenomenon is what we're saying. So, and here's the thing. It doesn't have to be politics. I've seen this same thing happen over sports teams because, my team versus your team, and then people are wearing certain colors and they're wearing their other colors. It's almost like gang members sitting at the Thanksgiving table. So here's the thing. Everybody, just remember, it's not about any of that stuff. It's about family. You're there to be with your family. Spend time with your family and enjoy them and just be together. Now, there are some people listening that don't have that at all. You know what? They would love to be sitting at that table. Just remember that. The people who are listening that are going, I don't even have a family. I don't have anybody to have that meal with. For those of you who have that, don't take that for granted. I mean, it's just ridiculous how often that happens. So if you have a Dear John letter, or if you have advice, I guess, first of all, for this Dear John letter, please chime in on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Also, if you have a Dear John letter, you can submit those to us through the Facebook page or right through our website as well, johnandheidishow.com. You ready for a John Deere letter?
Sure.
All right, this was a John Deere letter that was sent to us through our Facebook page. It was actually a comment on last week's Dear John letter, but I thought it was really adorable. Lauren, thank you so much for sending this. It says, John Deere, I'm leaving you. And then that's the John Deere logo.
Okay.
In case, the Case IH logo, you don't know why, it's because my cousin Oliver, the Oliver tractor logo, told me you were messing around with Alice Chandler's, that's a tractor logo. I can't believe you thought you were on the Farmall all those times, Farmall logo. I thought that was really clever. So I see everybody else around here is just looking at me like I'm nuts. Maybe that doesn't translate to radio well. I thought it was cool. Thank you so much for sending that to me, Lauren. I appreciate it a bunch. And if you'd like to chime in with your advice or your own Dear John letter or your own John Deere letter, you can do that at Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Prior to the 20th century, squirrels were one of America's most popular pets. So
Really?
people used to have a lot of squirrels. Nowadays, not so many people have a lot of squirrels. So I don't know why that is. I think maybe it's because they're so hard to, care for. You put them on a little leash and try to take your squirrel for a walk, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I've never had a squirrel. I don't know how that works. Probably not how I said it. This has been a very fun fact on this Thursday.
FreshPatch.com is making dogs like me happy. They send out real grass pads for us to use indoors. Now when it's cold outside, I can go inside. And when I've used up the real grass patch, the mailman brings me a new Fresh Patch. It's the best idea since doggy treats. Convince your mommy to try it today. I suggest you try Puppy Dog Eyes. FreshPatch.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and the word today is churlish. Churlish. What do you think churlish is? Churlish. I believe we've had this word before, too. I think they ran out of words. Churlish. What do you think it is?
I don't know. What is it?
Very rude, boorish, or vulgar in a mean-spirited way, somewhat surly.
Surly.
I think I know somebody that can
He's
be a little
surly.
churlish that's in this room.
Who? You?
Yeah, me.
You can.
I can be. Marked by a lack of civility or graciousness? Okay. Difficult to work with or deal with. Who else could I be talking about when I say these?
I don't know. Other than me, you're the only other one in the room, so it's got to be you.
Relates to peasants. So if you're a peasant, you can be quite churlish. So there you go. Heidi can be quite churlish.
I'm not a peasant.
You're not a peasant, but vulgar in a mean-spirited way and surly. I mean, I think you have a shirt that actually has that knitted right on it, don't you? Pretty sure you do. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for some weird news. A report from the Tennessee Health Department says a doctor borrowed some money from a patient, then diagnosed the patient with dementia when she was asked to repay it. This is a sad story. I don't know what really happened, but I don't think there's any winner in this story. Sue Ellen Lee was quoted by the Tennessean as saying that she voluntarily retired her medical license because her case was unwinnable. She maintains the accusations are all lies. Government attorneys say the 79-year-old Lee borrowed $300,000 from a clinic patient when the clinic fell on hard times. Records show she later diagnosed that patient with dementia without using any testing method or getting a second opinion. and the financial company denied her access to the funds. Anyway, it says here, another psychologist assessed the patient and found no indication of dementia, but Lee stood by the dementia diagnosis, saying that she has also been repaying the debt in installments. So it's just a weird story. The whole story.
What does
is
a
weird.
dementia diagnosis have to do with paying somebody back?
I don't know, but it's just a bizarre story, and I've got a link to the thing.
And why on earth would you borrow that kind of money, especially from a patient?
Yeah,
that is such a bad idea.
It is a bad idea. I've got a link to the story in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh. A passenger on a Frontier Airlines flight leaving Cancun heading to St. Louis opened the cabin door, deployed the emergency slide. This wasn't something they were supposed to do. The passenger said he was feeling ill, became agitated, prompting the flight to return to the gate. By the time they got to the gate, however, he became physically violent with a flight attendant and attempted to exit the aircraft. Crew members, assisted by some passengers, tried to restrain the individual until authorities could arrive. But he says on here that the aircraft was removed from service for a maintenance check because he deployed the slide. They rebooked all the passengers on other flights and provided hotel accommodations for those that needed them. We understand that our unexpected delays are frustrating, and we're working to get our passengers to their destinations as soon as the circumstances permit. How sad would that be? You're just getting ready to go on your trip somewhere, and all of a sudden some person who's not feeling well goes nuts and cracks the door open and deploys the slide.
Yeah.
That's not good. So anyway, good news is nobody was hurt. Bad news is that guy probably ain't flying no more. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Thursday.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is the time of the show where John reads a story to Heidi, and she's got to tell me if this is fake news that we made up or if it's a true story that's from the great state of Florida, something that really happened. Heidi, tell me, fake news or Florida? A naked man was arrested after he challenged people to fight and others to stare at his genitalia outside a Chick-fil-A restaurant. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
That is a true story. That is but do we read that story?
No.
I think I've been holding this for a long time because I've been trying to decide whether I even wanted to read this story. Very bizarre story.
It's extremely bizarre.
I've got a link to that in the show notes, and that's something you'd expect to see at a Popeye's chicken maybe, but never at a... No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Popeyes, I love ya. I'm just being silly. You would never expect that anywhere. There's no place you would expect that.
You're like, I was expecting this.
No, really. Dinner and a show. All right. Bad idea. Terrible idea. And that is what happens in Florida. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and we're going to do that today, and I'm going to let Heidi choose the good news. After breaking off engagement, bride lets some good come from it by donating wedding to a stranger in need, or after becoming the largest European city to offer free public transit, they're enjoying a revolution from the buses. Which one of those stories, Heidi?
Let's do the wedding.
Okay. You didn't want that one yesterday, but now...
Actually, I did, because when you read the other story, I said, can I change my mind?
No, you can't change your mind. But we do have the story coming your way. After breaking off the engagement, the bride says, I want something good to happen. So the bride-to-be prompted an outpouring of kindness and inspiration after she used her broken engagement as a really good excuse to help a woman who she had never even met before. Colby Sanders ended her engagement a week before the date and she had a chance to keep her wedding venue's reservation for a later time, but the 24-year-old had a better idea. She said, you know what? I'm going to give this wedding package to a couple who would be willing to get married within the week. It's a $3,500 package. So it's not, extravagant, but that's a lot.
No, but that's a
pretty
lot
good.
of money.
She says, with my engagement ending, I've come to find tremendous peace in knowing that I did the right thing for both of us. She put that on Facebook. With that being said, I now want to do the right thing by others and let some good come out of this decision. She's a student from Tyler, Texas. She made a social media post asking to send nominations for couples who deserve a free wedding. The post was shared thousands of times. More and more people saw her call for action. Local businesses and community members all volunteered to help out as well. A makeup artist, a hairstylist, a photographer, everybody dove in and said, hey, how can we help? Flowers were donated. Decorations were donated. Hundreds of love stories and submissions. And she wrote down all of the names, and then she put them in a bowl, and she drew out the name Haley Hipsher. And Hipsher was overwhelmed with joy. Her grandfather recently had stage 4 cancer diagnosis, so she's been considered as a candidate. So she had been considered as a candidate so that her beloved sick family members could see her walk down the aisle. So I think that's really cool. So something negative, something that's not so positive that, oh, hey, I'm not getting married. But you know what? Let's do something cool for somebody else.
That's super cool.
I think it's really
That's really
neat.
sweet.
I've got a link to this story in the show notes. I tried to speed read through it, but you can read all of it if you like. It's in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and welcome to November.